So I finally found the software for my my X10 home automation setup, which consists of this is the HomeDirector, which is an IBM rebadged version. So I'm installing some home automation software on my Tandy. This is for the HomeDirector home automation kit. This is actually the IBM rebadged version sold through Radio Shack in 1996. This was actually sold as a starter kit. Let me find the box here. Here's a starter kit box. And it was marketed alongside the IBM Aptiva line that Radio Shack was selling after they stopped selling Tandys. And it's pretty cool. It comes with the software that I had to download because the disk was missing. But it comes with a lamp module, an appliance module, and a transceiver. The transceiver, it's actually more of a transmitter, I think. Just plugs into the wall and it connects to the computer via serial cable. The X10 home automation modules are still in production to this very day, only they're a little bit more elaborate and they have a lot more options like built-in wall switches and devices for heavier loads and more specialized modules or control modules for various applications. But the X10, I don't know whether to call it a kit, a protocol, or just plain a system. The X10 system has been around since the late 1970s, and I believe it was originally designed for the Apple II series and Commodore 64s. Actually, I believe VIC-20s, Commodore 64, Apple II, early IBM PCs. It's not a new idea. It's actually been out for quite some time, and still remains one of the top home automation packages or ideas that you can buy into. So the appliance module is a heavier load module. This is a strictly on-off device. It uses a relay and can handle loads up to 500 watts or a 1/3 horsepower motor. So it's pretty cool. So once we install our software, we have to restart. Now, I had been playing with this last night, and I had no luck whatsoever. I got it to control the lamp module, which is currently hooked up to, you guessed it, a lamp. And but I could not get the appliance module and the lamp module to work together. It really pissed me off. So what can I hook the? I want to hook up the. It wouldn't work with my fan. That was a pain in the ass all in itself. And I kept getting communication errors connecting to the. Jesus, what are they running out there? Huh. Anyway, I kept getting communication errors when connecting to my module. Let's see here. So the lamp is set to, okay, I should backtrack. Each module is assigned a channel, a group and a channel, A1, A2, A3, C1, C2, C3, etc. Here's the error that I'm getting. I can set the COM settings. It should be COM 2, but it's stuck at COM 1. It's really a pain in the ass. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So I'm actually considering trying this on a different computer altogether. I'm going to set this to COM port 2, which is what it's supposed to be. Now I have to set the base address and IRQ. To get that, I'm going to go into my control panel and take a look at my port settings. According to this, COM 2 is O2F8 IRQ3. O2F8 IRQ3. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, historically, I have had nothing but issues setting up serial devices on older equipment. It's almost like it was a curse that has followed me my entire life and continues to haunt me to this day. So we're going to just restart the machine with those settings in place and see what happens. But last night I did get it to work on at least the lamp module reliably. And then things just started going wrong. It was losing communication. The COM port was... there must be a conflict somewhere with the device. I mean, this doesn't have a modem installed, but if it did, it would be set to it'd be set to COM3. But there is no modem in this machine. I've got a sound card, but that doesn't use... well, maybe it could be an IRQ conflict with the... there could be a problem there. There could be a conflict. I bet you that's all it is. There's a device in here. Does this tell me what the Sound Blaster is using? No, it doesn't. But there could be absolutely an IRQ conflict that's popping up randomly. It wouldn't be the first time. Let's see what it does now. Go to our active home. Oh, as you can clearly tell, the software is designed to run in a higher color mode. I'm running this in 16 color mode, unfortunately. Actually, no, it might be 256. Alright, the lamp module is currently set to A2. But that doesn't matter because I can't communicate to the freaking device. So, you know what? Let's just try this on another computer, shall we? We're going to try this on the IBM ThinkPad that was sent from heaven. Because it's in such good condition. Anyway. Come on. Close, you bitch. There we go. Let's try another. Okay. Now let's wake up the beast. I've got all my devices hooked up. And they're ready to play. We've got the serial interface over here, which connects to the computer. I've got the appliance module over there, connected to that handy breeze. And the lamp module is connected to that lamp. Alright, let's play. The version of the software that I've downloaded is one of the earlier versions for Windows. It's designed for Windows 3.1 and 95. But these modules are compatible with even the latest version of the X10 software, as far as I know. And the cool thing about the X10 system, let's call it a system, is that it's almost infinitely expandable. It's very versatile. This wants to install a driver, but we don't have the driver file just yet. We're going to have to install the software first. I have a feeling that that might have been 90% of the problem before. So perhaps the driver was missing. And just because these modules say IBM on them does not mean that we need the IBM version of the software. Yeah, I want this on COM1. Let's see how this works. So we can actually go on eBay and buy more modules, as many as we want. And as long as we have enough addresses available for each module, they'll just work. The signal, by the way, is actually sent through the home wiring system, which is where there might be a source of interference. I'm not really sure how well this system can handle interference. That would be an interesting topic to figure out, because a modern day household has more electronics running at all given times of the day. In 1996, or hell, in 1979, when the system was created, home wiring systems were very simple. There weren't as many circuits. Average, I believe in most homes, there weren't as many outlets or as many circuits. There weren't as many appliances or electronic devices running on those older systems. I mean, nowadays we have Wi-Fi, we have Bluetooth, we have, you know, all kinds of wireless communications going all at the same time. Now, I don't know where this driver is going to come from, but we're going to try a manual search for it. It's looking in the floppy drive that does not exist. Alright. I have a bad feeling about this. I don't think this is going to work out for us. Windows 3.1 never asked for a driver, as Windows 3.1 doesn't really... see, I'm already getting issues. Right, let's take a look at our system properties. Device Manager, unknown device, driver, update. No, I don't want Windows to search. Let's see. Other devices. No, that's not a good thing. Select from a list. Yeah, search for the driver. Oh, jeez. Well, I've scoured the internet for forum posts relating to this IBM HomeDirector. Let me try to unplug it here. Let's see what the model is. There it is. The HomeDirector. This is an HD16A, but it's still all the same. What I have found is that it is one of the flakiest, most unreliable, useless pieces of crap ever made. Maybe newer versions are more reliable, but a lot of it is software conflicts and just plain limitations with older Windows machines of the time period. Excuse me. That being the mid-90s. So, what I have decided to do is abandon my plans of having a Space Odyssey 2001 style home with a Cockney accent, you know, hello mate, welcome home, you know, that kind of thing, with glowing red, you know, buttons all over the walls, and, you know, automatic fans and lights and computers and toasters and all that happy stuff that we're supposed to have in the year 2015, according to Back to the Future 2. Anyway, I'm going to abandon all those plans, and I'm going to uninstall the software. So, I'm going to show you how to uninstall the software, which is probably the most fun you'll ever have with an older X10 system. First, I've got to remember how to uninstall software. There it is. I'm looking for programs and features. Yeah. Alright. Active Home. Add remove. And we will then discard the HomeDirector unit. It's a shame, too, because, you know, I'm going to do one more search for that driver. If you see this video continue on after my rant, then you'll know I found it. But I didn't need the driver in Windows 3.1. I don't know why I need it in Windows 95. And like I said, and I kid you not, I had this sucker working. I just don't have any video evidence of it. I could control the lamp module, but nothing else. That was all I could do with it. So, it's entirely possible that the HD16A is incompatible with this particular version of the software. I mean, that's not unlikely. So, but I wanted to run this on a Windows 95 machine because I'm a stubborn prick, and that was the only solution I would accept. So I'm not really interested in running it on my always running home theater box, which may actually be possible. You know, I could probably try that and give it a shot. Maybe it would work, maybe it won't. I believe that has a serial port, and if it doesn't, I can always add one. But nevertheless, I think I've lost all interest in the X10 home automation package. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll maybe throw it away. I might recycle it. I don't know. But when you've lost interest in something, it's kind of a moot point. You know, you just don't care. I have enough junk around here. But hey, that was my review of the X10 home automation or HomeDirector. I think the other name was Power Home or Active Home. I mean, there's a couple of different brand names floating around, but they all work on the same protocol, and they're all intercompatible to my knowledge. I believe they are. So, until next time. So yeah. So anyway, I found these blog posts, well, they're forum posts, back from like around the turn of the century, and they were all basically expressing grievances with with their units, their X10 units. Everything from unreliability to just plain doesn't work. I mean, guys have tried a lot of different tricks to get them working, and I attribute a lot of it to just the fact that the technology wasn't mature at the time. You know, I mean, communicating through, you know, radio frequency over a power line or over, you know, internal home wiring, I just can't imagine that working well. And I'm reminded of a device that I purchased out of desperation in 2004. See, this is back in the modem days, and you know, all I had was a 56K connection and AOL. I was in my first apartment. We had one phone jack in the whole place, and I rented it with my cousin. So I went over to, I believe I bought it at Walmart. It was a wireless phone extension kit. And how it worked was it had a module that looked identical to this. It plugged into the wall and had a phone jack on it. There were two units, and you could actually have a phone extension anywhere in the house without running any wires. So I had the main unit in the kitchen, where the actual phone was, and my bedroom had the receiving end of that. And mind you, the building was constructed not dissimilar to this one. Well, actually, it was completely different. So not dissimilar, but completely different. It was actually on the same wall. So let's pretend that this is the front wall of the house. The kitchen counter is right there. Phone is right there, where the TV is. And my bedroom is upstairs, directly upstairs. The outlet was right here that it was plugged into. Let's just pretend hypothetically. Well, to say that it worked would be an outright lie. I mean, it kind of functioned in a... I just noticed. Look at this. Look, I went to pause this, and look at where I paused it. Just completely... it's a great screen cap. Anyway, so what happened was, it would work once in a while. I had a phone in my room, and I could actually make and receive calls, but the signal quality was very weak. It was weak enough to where my 56K modem could only connect at, like, I don't know, 1100 baud, and it was just terrible. I'd get connected to AOL, and which back in 2004 was still relatively usable. And it would work, but then I'd lose my connection. Then I'd work for a little while, then I'd lose it again. It was like a nightmare. So the way those worked is they would send the signal. Basically, it was a glorified, probably 50 megahertz cordless phone. That's basically how it worked. But it would send the signal through the house's power system with disastrous results. So I can only imagine, long story short, short story long, that's why these suck. And I built this after cleaning out the local Radio Shack. So Radio Shack is going out of business, rightfully so. They haven't really been relevant for quite some time. But one of the things that I'm really upset about is that Radio Shack late in the game started getting into the Arduino movement and selling Arduino devices and robot kits and really getting into the maker stuff, the MakerBot, the maker movement, which bred quite a wide variety of kits and programming devices and all sorts of cool stuff that you can build yourself at your own leisure in your own home and program with your fancy computer. Fancier than that one. So what really upset me is that Radio Shack didn't really push this and advertise it and try to encourage people to come down to their stores and buy these kits and build their own robotic toys and all sorts of devices that you can make with ready to assemble parts like this. I feel that Radio Shack failed America's youth by not aggressively advertising these devices and having people in their stores knowledgeable enough to help these youngsters actually get started in making their own little robotic toys and what have you. So I was over at Radio Shack and I bought something like 200 batteries. I'm not even joking. Actually, I think the number's more like probably about 160 batteries of all different types. About 116 AA's, 48 AAA's, 8 C cells, 8 D cells, 4 9 volts for $30. No, seriously. I really did. And I also bought this little robot kit for fun. This was $50. It retails for $114. I also bought that RC truck. That I'm going to do a video project with, and that's going to be destroyed in the project, I'm fairly certain. But that was $30. So I bought that. I bought a new multimeter. I bought a digital caliper set. I bought 2 soldering irons. I basically drained my fun money at Radio Shack. I bought all kinds of crap. Some that I need, some I don't, like this. Just for fun. And try to pump some money back in the Radio Shack coffers, I guess. But anyway, what I was saying originally is that Radio Shack started out as a do-it-yourself radio shop. Back when shortwave radio and amateur radio was all the rage. All the kids were tuning in. And that's what built Radio Shack up to what it became. And that's what helped segue into the computer business, where they originally sold the Radio Shack line of computers, which turned into Tandy, which then turned into crap, we need a supplier. And that was around the time Radio Shack declined, when they started selling the IBM Aptivas, in addition to these stupid IBM HomeDirector kits, which actually the other modules say Radio Shack on them, this one doesn't. But anyway, they started selling all that crap, and nobody really cared, and people were buying their computers at Walmart at that point. And that's when Radio Shack started to decline and turn into the cesspit of cell phones and service plans and batteries that we all know and love. But late in the game, they started to, get back into the do-it-yourself or maker movement. I call it a movement because it really is. It's like a revolution of high school kids learning how to program their own microcontrollers and build robots. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. I never learned how to program worth a damn, but someday I will, and I'll probably use this as a learning tool. Point being, where am I going with this? I think it was too little too late. Had Radio Shack turned itself or rebranded itself as a neighborhood do-it-yourself shop, like it started out as, screw the service plans, get rid of the cell phones, there's already enough cell phone stores out there, and turn the stores into kind of like a little hobby shop, with actual knowledgeable staff members on hand that you can learn from. That'd be too much to ask. I think I don't think it would be a sustainable business model because it wouldn't be that profitable. But it's a thought. Let me kind of backtrack a little bit and kind of go into what the plan might actually look like. So, little Johnny son of a bitch walks into the store and says, "Gee, whiz golly," whatever the kids say these days, and looks around at these awesome kits and 3D printers and metal Tinker Toys. I call it Tinker Toy. These little metal strips you can buy. They're like, you could build anything out of them. Extruded aluminum, like this stuff. They could have racks upon racks of this kind of stuff. You just bolt these pieces together, you can make damn near anything. And there could be books and guides and videos and all these great things, tools, for kids to build their own stuff and be creative. Make robots, make remote-controlled cars, make whatever you want. And they could have a couple of people with, some background in engineering in the stores at all times that can help answer questions and direct the students or the kids or adults into where they can find their information. Let's say the kid knows nothing about programming. So the engineer man says, well, here's a book, a pamphlet, if you will, that outlines some very basic stuff. They could even design software that overlays the Arduino programming software to make it even easier to program them. And then you can strip away those overlays and then actually work behind the scenes on the actual code. There's a thought. I don't know. I just think the company could have been saved, and I think that it was just sad to see how much Radio Shack has devolved over the years into a glorified Sprint store, and it just became yet another neighborhood cell phone store that also sells, RC cars and coaxial cables. Oh, and batteries. Don't forget those service plans. But that's what happened to Radio Shack. They killed themselves by not staying current, by not following trends, or by following trends too late and not putting enough effort into executing those plans. This right here, the Maker Block, is a great learning tool. Not only do you learn a little bit of mechanical assembly, but it also teaches you some very basic programming stuff. It doesn't really work that well. There's not enough power going to these motors to really make it do anything. It could be the cheap Radio Shack batteries that are in it, but it's supposed to turn, which it does. This is an infrared remote, and it goes forward and back. I should have bought the Bluetooth version, but it's designed to avoid obstacles. It has a piezoelectric device in the front that senses proximity to objects So it's supposed to be able to run around the house and, you know, kind of figure its own way. But the instructions are practically non-existent, so I don't really know how to use this. I have to find out more information online. But if my local Radio Shack had a guru built in, I could be like, hey, what am I doing wrong? It's also not really doing what it's supposed to. Like, forward and back are really turn, and turn is forward and back, so I have it hooked up wrong. Even though I hooked it up according to the instructions that it did include. I don't know. I think I screwed it up. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to end that rant on this note. Go to Radio Shack and clean out their battery supply while you still can. Some great deals to be had. That was a plug for Radio Shack. I feel like such a tool.